Joining us now is Ejiofor Onyia, who is a life member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So I think a good place to begin would be to ask you, the BOT that met today seems to align with the position of the governors who met last week. However, we have seen Mr. Anyanwu publicly defied the governors by resuming to work yesterday, asking for files. He was in the Wadata Plaza. By the way, the BOT couldn't meet there today. So I want to ask you, all of these pronouncements by the BOT, which is the highest advisory organ of the party, and the governors who are a member of the NEC, does it mean that Mr. Anyanwu has stepped down, should step down? Is the matter resolved? Simply put it, as it's resolved the crisis.
Well, thank you for having me. In the first place, the issue shouldn't have deteriorated to the level that it has deteriorated to. I see that as a result of carelessness of leadership. By the fact that Anyanwu went for gubernatorial election, automatically means that he had relinquished the post of the secretary. As a founding father of this party, and as a man who one of those who reviewed the original constitution of this party, it was clear that what we made clear was that once you are to run for an office, even at the primary level, you must present your letter of resignation as a prerequisite for qualifying to contest in the primary. Well, somehow he mentioned that there was an amendment to the Constitution that gave rise to what he's doing.
Constitution of your party.
Precisely, which I'm unaware of. But the fact is, it's a very simple matter. Anyanwu had done his bit. I mean, he has been nice, he worked very well as secretary. You cannot be a judge and jury in your own case. So it's quite clear that there's no reason for this kind of situation other than probably misunderstanding on the part of Chief Anyanwu, who is my friend. But I believe that there's no reason for people to struggle for such a position, which is a position for service.
Yes, they are.
But they keep doing things that, well, you see, we the older ones, they accuse us somehow. But now the younger ones coming in are doing worse steps in pursuing their ambition, which is unfortunate. So the whole issue is simple. We asked our dear son, the Board of Trustees, to look at the judgments that have been rendered over this matter. And we asked both parties to submit all the judgments they have to the son, who will review them and advise the board accordingly. And he did. Based on what they submitted and the judgments that were made, it came to the conclusion that there is the judgment that was made ab initio in Enugu by the High Court has not been set aside by the Appeal Court in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, from 2023, when that judgment was made, Anyanwu has been deemed to be the secretary of the party. And until any other court of law, maybe a higher court of law, reverses it, we decided the best thing for the Board of Trustees to do is to follow the process of the law and allow the law to take its course.
You mean Udo Okoye has been deemed to be the secretary?
By the judgment.
Yes, you said Anyanwu. I just wanted to make sure that you
I mean Udo Okoye, yes.
Yes.
By the judgment of 2023. And therefore, I don't see any reason. We've not done anything wrong other than interpret and obey the court order as is being given.
But Mr. Anyanwu has now dismissed this decision, going as far as arguing that 80% of the BOT members basically arguing about their legitimacy and also saying, look, this matter is in court and should not be, this decision should not have been taken. How do you respond to that?
What do you mean legitimacy?
Well,
membership?
Of the BOT members.
I don't think he's in a position to decide that or to make that assertion. The BOT is well constituted, and everybody who is a member of the BOT is either a life member or a nominated member. So how does it come about saying things like that? It's not correct. We affirmed the leadership today of our chairman and the secretary and gave them vote of confidence because they've been doing a good job. In fact, if not for the diligence and the experience of the chairman and the secretary over this matter, probably the situation would have deteriorated worse. But they have been patient and followed due process, allowed the rule of law to take its course. And that's why we're where we're today. Listen, the Governors Forum, took the decision before we did, based on the legality on the ground. They looked at the whole situation. And then we looked at it the same way and came to the same conclusion. So why should somebody think that both the Governors Forum and the BOT are now being compromised? We should not speak the truth at my age. I don't fear anybody. The truth must be said, and that is the truth.
Okay, so, I mean, this position you take, is it binding on the NWC, which Mr. Anyanwu currently is claim to be a part of? And some will say, actually holds the soul of your party at the moment. Some even say that's perhaps why they've not held your National Economic Executive Council meeting since last year. So my question is, you make this pronouncement, is it really binding? I mean, if he goes to work, ask for files, minutes on them, and he's also petitioned security agencies in the country, warning that should he be removed aside the court, there will be chaos. So it does look like he holds the ace here.
No, it doesn't hold the ace. Let's go back again to basics. Which court decision is he quoting? All the decisions of the court as analyzed today by the Sun, and as you can go and verify yourself, clearly states that Udo Okoye is the secretary. So who actually is disobeying the court order now?
Why do you think that is difficult for anyone to understand? You talked about the young generation coming behind you and the kind of politics they play. Perhaps you did not leave them a blueprint to follow. And what is so particular about the national secretary position of the party that has caused so much squabbles?
Well, you see, the impunity that the rulers in this country, the attitude that most of our young ones have adopted in not allowing the rule of law to take its course has become our albatross. Look,
did the leaders go to sleep?
Well, what leaders? Leaders have done
when you talk,
what
you
they
talk
have
about
to
the
do.
older generation.
The leaders have done what they have
elders.
to do. The integrity of the individual is what is important. As I said, I looked at the Constitution, which we have written before, and they knew what they claimed to be the new Constitution. Either way, it stated there clearly that if you have to run for an office, you shall resign. It's there in the Constitution. So why are we fighting over something that is so basic? And why can't people, you see, unfortunately in this country, we have used the courts to abuse ourselves. And that is one thing we must not encourage more in this country. People go to court and then they won't even give you the pronouncement of the judge, the actual decision. They give you the peripheral view and not the actual substance of that judgment. Now, let us look at the actual substance of all the judgments concerning this situation. I'm going to challenge you to go and look at them and then come up with what you think is the decision and what it should be. That is what the San Turaki did for us. And we came to this conclusion. That is what the Governors Forum did and came to that conclusion.
Thank you, Chief Onyia, for being on this. Nkechi, I know you want to wrap up this, but you did mention the resignation, and people will ask, did you see a copy of his resignation?
Whose resignation?
Mr. Anyanwu to go and contest the election.
That is the problem. He never resigned.
Is that possible?
Well,
how did the PDP make that possible?
Yeah. Well, the issue is this. Unfortunately, at that time, the chairman that was supposed to be on seat is no more with us because of court injunction. The court removed him. And therefore, a lot of things went down within that period. So we don't know whether he actually resigned or not.
You brought this upon yourself as a
He's saying that he didn't resign. Like I said, when I started this, I said the carelessness of the executive at that time was what brought this situation.
Great. All right, thank you so much,
Chief
Onyia, live PDP BOT member.